What's up everybody, my name is Phosphoros and today we're going to be covering the rotation changes that came out of the September 3rd hotfix which nerfed Sunfury Arcane. Now I will be coming out with a fully fledged guide pretty soon, but I figured between now and when I actually post that guide, might as well make this quick video letting you guys know how the rotation changed so you're up to date with the latest rotation. So let's take a look at the actual changes that went through. So here we go. Burden of Power can no longer be double dipped by spell queuing. So basically what this means is before this change, whenever you spell queued Blast and Barrage together with Burden of Power, both spells would benefit from Burden of Power's damage boost. After this change, when you spell queue, only Arcane Blast will benefit from the damage boost. So we still will be spell queuing on Burden of Power, however it won't be every single time, and it'll be for a different reason, and that reason is to consume Glorious Incandescence. So what Glorious Incandescence does is whenever you consume Burden of Power, it causes your next Arcane Barrage to grant 4 arcane charges and call down a storm of meteorites on its target. Now, previously, whenever you spell queued Blast and Barrage with Burden of Power, Glorious Incandescence would get consumed automatically, and you'd do that every single time. Now, it still works that way. If you spell queue Blast and Barrage with Burden of Power, you still will consume Glorious Incandescence, but you're not doing it every single time. There's certain conditions that you will spell queue Blast and Barrage with Burden of Power, and we'll cover that in a little bit. It's actually a little bit more intuitive than it sounds, and it's a little bit of a playstyle difference, but it's not too much. So before we get into that, let's take a look at the rest of the changes that went through. Arcane Phoenix's damage reduced by 10% for Arcane, and Arcane Soul's base duration reduced to 2 seconds from 3 seconds. So that's pretty much how we got hit. I still think we have some more nerfs incoming, but that's a topic for another day. Anyways, let's take a look at the new filler priority list. So here's what the new filler rotation looks like. Arcane Orb if you have less than 2 arcane charges. Arcane Barrage if you have 4 arcane charges. Glorious Incandescence or Intuition. And one of these 2 conditions are fulfilled. You have 1 stack of Nether Precision and you're casting Arcane Blast, in which case you would just spell queue Blast and Barrage together. Or you have no Nether Precision and no clear casting stacks, in which case you would just Barrage, or if you're already casting Arcane Blast, you would Blast and Barrage together. So I know this sounds a little bit complicated, but I assure you if you try it in game, it's pretty intuitive. All this basically means is if you have 4 arcane charges and some way to regenerate your arcane charges when you Barrage, then if you have 1 stack Nether Precision, you spell queue on 1 stack. If you don't have Nether Precision and no way to generate Nether Precision, then you just Barrage. And all this essentially means is just don't hold on to Glorious Incandescence or Intuition. Once you get either of these 2 buffs, just Barrage the next time you have 1 stack Nether Precision, or just don't even hold it, just Barrage if you can't generate Nether Precision. So pretty simple in practice. Sounds a little bit more complicated than it is. Let's move on. Arcane Blast with Nether Precision. And then if you can't do that, you Arcane Missiles with clear casting, and you want to clip this cast unless it's Aether Attunement buffed. Can't do that, you Arcane Blast, and if you can't do that, you Barrage when you run out of mana. So let's take a look at what this actually looks like in-game. So the opening rotation is exactly the same as it was before. You cast Evocation into Arcane Missiles, clip with an Arcane Surge, into Touch of the Magi Blast, Blast, Missiles, Blast, Blast, just keep blasting, try to get a clear casting, here we go. Now we're going to consume Glorious Incandescence right here. Missiles, full channel, Blast, Blast Missiles, here we go with Arcane Soul window. Shifting Power because Arcane Soul's done. Missiles, Blast, Blast Missiles, full channel, Blast, Blast Missiles, here we're going to consume Glorious Incandescence, into Touch, Missiles, Blast, Blast, keep blasting, spell queue, Missiles, Blast, Blast, spell queue because no Nether Precision and no clear casting, Blast, Blast, I'm running out of mana here, I'm going to have to Barrage, I'm going to consume Glorious Incandescence here, actually I'm going to Missiles first, consume it on the next stack of Nether Precision. And we're back into the burn rotation. So we're going to missiles, Arcane Surge. I have 4 charges, so Barrage Touch, Blast Missiles, Blast Barrage, full channel this missiles, Blast Missiles, Blast Barrage, Missiles, Arcane Soul Windows coming up, spam Arcane Barrage, and then Soul Window's done. We're going to Shifting Power, and you kind of get the idea here. Blast Missiles, Blast Missiles, touch the Magi windows coming up, full channel this missiles, Blast Missiles, Blast Missiles, double blast into Spell Q Barrage, and you get the idea. So if you have any questions, ask down below, but that was a pretty good demonstration, I think, right there. So here's what the new AoE rotation looks like. First up, cast Arcane Blast once during Touch of the Magi for Magi Spark, and keep in mind this happens pretty much automatically. Arcane Barrage, if you have 4 Arcane charges, are casting Arcane Blast with 1 second of precision, and one of these 3 conditions are true. You have Glorious Incandescence or Intuition, or you have an Arcane Orb charge, or you have a clear casting stack available. Now pretty much what this all means is if you have 4 Arcane charges, and 1 stack of precision, in which case you're spell queuing, then you would fulfill that spell queue in Barrage, assuming that you have some way to regenerate your Arcane charges after you Barrage. Be it Glorious Incandescence, Intuition, using an Arcane Orb charge, or using a clear casting stack with High Voltage. So after this line, you would then Barrage if you have Glorious Incandescence or Intuition, but no another precision stack, and no way to generate another precision. So basically, the difference between line number 3 and line number 2 is just that you can Barrage at any amount of Arcane charges if you have one of these 2 buffs, because they would just get you back to 4. And also, because you have no NP and no way to generate NP, then you're not going to be spell queuing, which means you don't actually have to be spell queuing to fulfill this line. You can, but you can also just dry Barrage or spell queue it off of any other spell. Next up, Arcane Barrage if you have any Arcane charges and are about to cast missiles with Aether Attunement. So the idea behind line number 4 is that because Aether Attunement is pretty much guaranteed to give you 4 Arcane charges after you cast it through High Voltage, then you kind of want to just Barrage until you run out of charges completely. Now, you might Barrage and get Orb Barrage procs, but you don't even worry about that. Just keep Barraging until you have no Arcane charges, and then you would cast missiles with Aether Attunement. And that's the next line, Arcane Missiles with clear casting for another precision or Arcane charges, and you would always clip this cast unless it's Aether Attunement buffed. Next up, Arcane Orb if you have less than 2 Arcane charges. After that, you Arcane Blast with another precision. If you can't do that, you would Arcane Explosion at exactly 0 Arcane charges. Can't do that, you Arcane Blast. Can't do that, you Barrage when you run out of mana. And down here is the Arcane Soul window, which I forgot to show in the ST section, but it's the same in both rotations. So let's take a look at what all this looks like in-game. Alright, so the AoE opener is exactly the same as it was before. So you just cast Evocation into Arcane Orb, Missiles, clip it with a Surge into Barrage Touch, Blast, Barrage, Missiles for charges, Blast Barrage, Missiles, Blast Barrage to consume Glorious Incandescence. Now we're just going to keep barraging because I'm in the Arcane Soul window. Arcane Soul's done, so now we're Shifting Power. Missiles, Blast Barrage, keep barraging because I have Aether Attunement. Blast Barrage, Missiles, Blast Barrage into Touch, Missiles, Blast Barrage, now keep barraging because Aether Attunement. Blast Barrage, Missiles, Blast Barrage, keep blasting until I get a clear casting, here we go. Blast Barrage, keep barraging. Missiles, Blast Barrage, Keep blasting. Surge Burn's about to come up. Blast. Blast Barrage. Missiles. Blast. Blast Barrage. Evocation. Missiles here to get us another precision. Now Barrage Touch. Blast. Barrage. Orb. Missiles. Blast. Blast Barrage. Missiles. Blast. Just keep blasting because I don't have another precision or clear casting. We're in the soul window. Shifting power. Now we're going to keep barraging because I have Aether Attunement. Use Aether Attunement. Blast. Blast Barrage. Orb. Missiles. Blast. Blast Barrage into touch. Missiles. Blast. Keep barraging now because I have Aether Attunement. Blast. Blast Barrage. Missiles. Blast. Blast Barrage. And you get the idea. So that's pretty much it for the AoE rotation. If you have any questions, let me know down below. But I think that was a pretty good demonstration as well. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I will be coming out with a fully produced guide like I usually do, but I figured I might as well make this one just a quick guide, get it out so you guys can be up to speed with the latest changes. And all in all, my thoughts on the nerfs, I think that I still think the Burden of Power was more fun when you would just spell queue it and double dip all the time, just because, you know, Barrage would crit for... Barrage would do more damage, right? More damage, more crit damage, bigger number, feels good, right? But anyways, you know, this rotation isn't too bad. It didn't really change that much. In terms of Arcane Soul, I actually feel like I didn't even really notice the Arcane Soul duration nerf as much as I thought I would. So I still think they should have nerfed Arcane in a different way, but the Arcane Soul change wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Let me know what you guys think down below. But anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Please subscribe. I appreciate the support, and I wish you a very nice day. Take care.